To devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate. We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you? And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk. Stop sweet talking it. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
Welcome to another edition of We-On-Loc-Nation. Yeah, I thought I'd just come up here and rant for a little bit before I went on to bed. Had a lot of stuff on my mind today. By the way, like, share, subscribe to the channel. I've been thinking a lot lately about today's and yesteryears, specifically when it comes to the outside world versus YouTube. And it's practically some of the same. Every single individual that I know who have done a live stream has uttered the exact same words, the exact same sentence, the exact same ideology. Men and women are different. They may be. But they may have this. How do you know if they're different? We're thinking the same things. Often and sometimes. We often think of the same things. It's just that we're going different roads. And then I ended up looking in the news today. The fact is, it's becoming common now that a lot of these murders that you see before you often happen on the whim. And a lot of people are starting to feel pain. They're starting to feel pain, and they're starting to ask more and more questions. This is the generation that we're living in, when we're starting to ask more and more questions about what we should do, who we should lean towards to when it comes to this election. Everybody that I've known, that I've heard or I've spoken to, is voting for Donald J. Trump for various reasons: the economy, jobs, etc., etc. And that's fine. And that's fine. You can do whatever you want. You can vote for whoever you want. Just don't ask me to vote for Donald J. Trump, because I did not believe. And if it were up to me, I would have everyone hold their votes until we speak to somebody a little bit younger, a little bit decent, and not such a Hollywood figure. Donald J. Trump is a Hollywood figure, but yet people believe in him because. And by the way, it's not him making these decisions about the border, making decisions about cutting taxes and stuff like that. It's not him making the decision. He never made these decisions before. It's his colleagues that are making the decisions. But we need to start making our own decisions when it comes to okay, I'm back. When it comes to being independent, because a lot of these so-called left wingers, the Democrats, they expect a different type of result, where pretty much if you vote Kamala Harris in, it's going to be the same result. Although it might be worse under the Harris administration versus the Donald Trump administration. Donald Trump, or let me start with Kamala Harris first. Kamala Harris is going to be on a no zero tolerance policy. In other words, locking up more black people versus Donald J. Trump, who has eliminated 13 people in the past. So it doesn't even matter which one you vote for who. They're the wings of the same damn bird. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to vote, if you want a vote, we must vote together as one block. As one block. Now, I don't know. We need to stop these petty beefs. We need to stop these petty beefs amongst each other. If anybody with ears, let them hear. We need to stop these petty beefs with each other because it particularly goes nowhere. You have more men channels, all right, talking and belittling females. I've uttered this before. Now you got females who utter that men are no longer the catalyst, that they're no longer the human beings that they were before. Which means there is no what used to be where you were a gentleman. You acted like a gentleman once you have met each other. We need to improve on black women and black men relationships. We need to improve on that on a more higher rate. We need to improve on that on a higher rate, on a higher scale. Because if we don't, we will die. We will die slowly but surely. Because if they know there will be interracial relationships, they're going to attack that too. There are a lot of different. You just don't know how bad it's going to be between the Mexicanos and the Asians and else in between. They're going to start attacking interracial relationships. All that is going to start from within. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. You already had an incident where a young lady got sliced in half. You already had an incident where a young 19-year-old girl was sliced in half in Milwaukee. Hell, she was dismembered after being murdered. She was dismembered. And her parts were scattered all over Lake Michigan. She was a 19-year-old girl. A 19-year-old girl dating a 33-year-old white man. Mr. Anderson. I haven't even checked the time. I didn't even check the timeline lately because of Sonia Massey. Now, I heard some wild things over there on Hamp's channel. I heard some wild shit over there on Hamp's channel that there was one man who continuously talks about how the lady Sonia Massey threw the pot while she was at a kneeling position, which is something ridiculous, right? I myself and Hamp and others, even Freezy, I gotta give him that. I gotta give it to him. Freezy have uttered that that woman did not throw anything. She had a jerk reaction, especially when it came to the second officer. When the first officer yelled free or put down the pot was already on the counter. It was kind of intuitive because you had something in between. And didn't I mention that he was 6'4"? He's 6'4", so he could see what she's doing. And if he felt threatened, over a boiling pot of water, which there was no legitimate way that that so-called boiling pot of water was going to reach the first officer. The second officer was nowhere near. He had just came out the living room. She had the pot of water over her head because she was afraid for her life and was nearly going to set it on the ground. But merely it was too late because the second officer drew his gun and she was startled. And that startledness, that's when the shots rang, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Hitting her in the face. Now, there are people who have came on my channel and smeared this utter nonsense that she threw the pot. Even if she did, which could be painful but harmless to the officer, because they are merely trained. If you feel threatened, why are you moving forward? You should be moving backwards. And if it were any type of a threat, which she was severely harmless, they actually told her to cut off the stove because they didn't want a fire started. Okay, cool. So you set the pot on the stove, but you end up backing off at least a foot and at least a inch. And the lady asked you, Miss Sonia asked you, why are you backing up? And you laugh, kiki ha ha, because I did not want to get burned. And that's when she uttered, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, looking at the water, looking at the boiling water. She didn't want nothing to happen to the officer. And that's when he had her repeat, and she had to repeat it again, and that's when he acted nasty. Acted nasty. You know how they say that demon rose up in him? She was tested. And she passed with flying colors because she automatically knew that some type of demon rose up in it. And by golly, he was right. But none of that Christian shit is going to apply in a court of law, even though they praise God too. They praise God every day. I will hope and pray that her son or her siblings, her family, friends, hopefully they will recover. This is an ongoing thing. The next thing, someone sent me reminded me of something. Not sent me a video. I ended up looking it up myself. I ended up looking this video up myself about a young girl who got fired upon by race soldiers who just went into the building and fired their guns at will with a woman with a knife, not saying freeze, not presenting who they were. And it's amazing. It's amazing how so many men get fired upon, but now the women are catching more smoke, and we're sitting here arguing about what? We're sitting here arguing about what exactly? And like I said, we have one of these people up in here now, Amazonian. The cops saw her draw down with no pot. And though he couldn't approach, but she popped up suddenly and threw the water. There was no water being thrown. You can hear the officer yell multiple times, "Put down the pot." Oh, before then, she said, "Sorry." Put down the pot. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm effing up. The officer said, I will shoot you in the freaking face." Those were his words. She said, "I'm sorry." That's when she put the pot on the countertop right next to the sink. And she had her hands up. She had her hands up. She got startled and was going to put the pot on the ground because the officer told her, to put, and we can run the tape, to put the pot on the ground. When the second officer drew his gun, she got startled and started shaking. That's when shots started firing. I don't know how else to put this other than to play a part of the one. Let me see. Because we can play this game all day. We could play this game all day, and I can just say you kind of wicked. You kind of wicked, and this is crazy that we must utter this thing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's no need for it. There's no need for it. We're just going to have to see what the jurors, the officers. Let me see. Let's see. No, wrong one. Okay. Wrong one. All right. Give me just a second. Since we're going to continuously play these little games. And you see, I don't get, I quite don't get it. We can have all the evidence in the world and people would still say that she threw the pot, even though they seen water on the floor. But my question would be, and this is a good question for Freezy, who did she throw the pot at? What was her intentions? Why would she call? If she was in trouble, if someone was at her house, why would she call the police? Having a boiling pot of hot water, just waiting on the officer, right? to come through, which it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. What comes to next? Let me see. Okay. All right, cool. So I wouldn't mind going through this again. Hey Lisa, the water wouldn't have hit the officer. I know. But we want to continue to play these little games, so we're going to play these games. And I often say to people, if you think that this lady had intentions, there were no intentions. Fair use.
Hey, the footage from the cop that shot her, how many minutes or how many seconds was that?
That's probably a minute worth or so.
Okay.
It's
Because before you click on.
Hey Trev, how are you doing, my friend? We're just going over and over and over and over again the Sonia Macy murder. And there are people out there who still believe that her intentions were to throw hot water on officers, even though they were called by her. This is ridiculous. Fair use.
To the camera is 30 minutes of what happened before you clicked it. But go, my bad.
Yeah, we were looking for camera 2.
I mean, 30 seconds. Yeah.
This is looking for camera 2, that because that's the camera that majority of people haven't seen. We saw the initial camera from the partner that didn't shoot.
All right. There's no reason his sound should have been muted.
So, quick question, really quick. Hold on for a second. Are you looking for body camera 1 or body camera 2?
I think what we're trying to assess the throw. So 2.
Okay. So
body camera 1. How long was the footage?
Wait, come out. This is the camera from body camera 2.
Yes, you have the one from body camera 2. Yes.
Yeah, this is the one I got.
I'm asking that for a reason, because when you double tap the camera, it catches the first 30 seconds before you double tap the camera, which means you can visually see it, but no sound. That's why I asked that.
The whole entire
I know this stuff. I gotta do this. Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is the whole entire video is 17 minutes long, but this particular body cam footage is 1minute 20 seconds long. I slowed it down to 0.2 speed.
And this is blurred, right?
So this is blurred. This is blurred. Yes, I'm not even gonna show the part where if I rewind it, it's gonna go way far back and it's gonna take us forever.
Yeah, it's probably blurred because this shit was dirty. His lens was dirty.
Here we go. The pot that's on the stove is gray. She has red oven mitts. She grabs the pot.
Oh my fucking God.
No, I'm sorry. The pot is red. So she grabs the pot and she's placing it on the countertop. There's Officer Grayson. That's the body cam that everybody usually refers to.
Correct.
Because if you look at his body cam, as he's aiming down the sights, his forearm is covering up the body cam. This is why body cam number 2 is so important. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the slider. I'm gonna move forward. I'm not gonna play no sound though. So he's walking over. This is the part where they said, we don't want to get burnt by hot fucking water. And she was like, what did you say? We don't want to get burnt by hot water. So then as he turns, he's going to turn. He turns over here. He's looking in this room. This is where she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Are we all following so far?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to get to the part where he turns and you see Officer Grayson with his hand on his gun right there. This is where he said, I'll shoot you in the.
He's going to explain it. Amazonian. He's going to explain it. And I want you to listen carefully, unless you are absolutely, really, really trolling. He's going to explain it to you real carefully.
In the fucking face.
That was wrong.
Right. That's where it was wrong. Now, he grabs he unholsters his gun, and I'm going to press play. Mind you, there's no sound, but it is in slow-mo. So she drops to the floor. Mind you, there is water in that pot. Yes. She drops to the floor. That is a red oven mitt in her hand. Mm-hmm. He taps on he does something with his hand, but the camera already been rolling. I don't know why he did that. As you can see, the floor is dry as shit. It's bone dry. There's nothing on the floor just yet. He pulls his gun. This is why this video is important, because his forearm is not going to cover.
One, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now she's still on the floor. Get to the part. 1 second.
Yeah, he's sweeping his partner.
Yeah,
mind you, he's 6. Officer Gracie is 6'4". If you cannot see from someone who is 5'2", if you can't see over the I want to call it, I had it in my brain and I lost it. The island. If you can't see over the island, something is very, very wrong with this. Something is wrong with this. Watch the black chair. Yes, the water spills over, bro. The water spills over right after she got shot. She didn't even move the doggone thing. She was startled after the second pistol. I don't even understand why the other cop pulled his gun when there was no immediate threat. Because he kept yelling, put down the pot, a pot of water. But by law, unfortunately, any immediate threat, which she wasn't a threat at all, I can resort to any type of judgment. But if you're wrong, and you should be prosecuted, which he should be. But you know how these people are, so let's continue.
All right. She's already shot at this point.
The floor's wet.
And the floor is wet. So this first comment that she threw the water, I'm sorry, that the floor was already wet before she went down. Excuse me. So now the floor is wet. Can everybody see that the floor is wet? And yes, there's steam coming from the floor. That water was hot.
There's steam. Okay.
Yeah, I can't see the steam, but I'll take your word for it. I just can't see any.
Yeah, I thought I saw in the other video. I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, the steam is right in this area right here. That's where the steam is.
Okay.
I wear glasses, my bad.
I can play it in fast motion, but it's going to play the sound, and I don't want to do that. But at this point, she's already shot. This is body cam number 2, like I said. Now, please drop my screen. I'll go get you body cam number 1.
And are you saying 2 and 1 because 1 is the officer that did the shooting?
1 is Officer Grayson. He's the one that actually did the shooting. This officer did not fire not one bullet.
All right, so just so the video that I played and showed you guys, it actually called Grayson's camera camera 2, but I think Cell's just simply saying because he's the one in the lead that did the shooting, his is the primary camera.
So the camera that everybody is talking about was the second officer that did not fire the gun. Well, what happened was apparently he came back, he was in the room, and when he was yelling, and obviously he heard his partner yelling, put down the pot, put down the pot. And that's when he drew his gun. She got startled. He ended up shooting unlawfully. And that's when she had the pot in her hand because she was going to put it on the floor. But she didn't have time to do it because when the first shots rang, the first bullet hit her face. Now, when a bullet hits your face, you're automatically dropping. And you know what? And you know what? It's crazy to me because you fired 3 shots. Yes. And you know what's crazy to me? After the aftermath of all that, the second officer was going to go get the kit even though she's even though she's breathing, she got hit in her eye socket, and it went through her lung. The second officer was going to get the kit. Officer Grayson said no, she's going to be dead anyway, and called her a sorry crazy bitch. Called her a sorry crazy bitch. Called her a sorry crazy bitch. Now I want people to justify this action. This is not justifiable. But yet we see all day, every day, with certain people that said this was a righteous shoot. With Officer Tatum, he says that this would not be my judgment, although she did throw the pot of water. How? How when she's kneeling on the floor? So she's gonna have time to do all that while kneeling on the freaking floor. And my question to you would be, who intentionally was she going to throw the pot at? Because there are two officers, officer number one or officer number two. And even if she threw it, she's in the aisle way. Who is it going to reach? Who has time to call two officers over to help this woman? In the beginning of it, she's already nervous. She's already nervous. She's already praying. She's already distraught. She has a mental disorder. And the cop is asking, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And she said, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. And the cop asked her, what's wrong? What's wrong? Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. Oh, nothing, nothing, nothing. And so they ended up checking the area for suspicious thing. What was going on suspiciously around their house. Now, again, the act should have been, okay, if we didn't hear anything, okay, if we see anything, we will let you know. We will do one more search of the crib before we leave back to the station or whatever. Here's my card. If anything else if anything else is to occur, call us. We'll come back again. Have a nice day. She had according to her siblings, she had a kidney disease. So she had only so many years to live, based on what they were saying. But during the aftermath, her son and the mother, they went down to the hospital and they were trying to get some information. They wouldn't say exactly at first who did the shooting. And then they were told a lie. They were told that it was possibly a suicide. They were told that this was a possible suicide because they used her mental stability against her. You know how cops are. Cops like to plant things, excuse me. So I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked at all of this situation. I'm not shocked. There's going to be more of these things happening. until we grow enough testicular fortitude to do something with the situation. And I believe that the brothers and sisters of our community are going to rise up finally to this threat. But we got to do it the smart way.
And
Now-
his is also the one that's absent of sound, regardless if you play it at real time, correct?
There you go. Now, here's body cam number 1. Pausing a lot, so if anybody have any questions or want me to pause, just let me know. She's coming off the floor.
He's
Can we all
standing
see?
up. There it is.
Okay, she's standing up. There.
She's grabbing the pot.
Hold on,
pot's
John.
in her.
That
Hold
shit
on, hold
red,
on.
dog.
Wait a minute. Let's
right.
do this. Let's
Copy.
Cell brought the film. He slowed it down. He did the work. Let him
Copy
go ahead
that.
and give the step by step, and then we can give our opinion. Go ahead, Cell.
Okay. At this point, the gun is trained directly on her head. If you're paying attention, her left arm is lowered in a bent position. Her right arm is extended upwards. She has the pot. She's coming up like this. Y'all can't see my camera, but just imagine like a strong arm flex position. She's coming up like, she's coming up like this with the pot. All right, go back to the camera. As she comes up, she shot right here. This is the point where she shot. If you're paying attention, you can see the two red. Can you see my mouse? Yes, you can see my mouse.
Yeah, we can see him. On.
One oven mitt right here, second oven mitt right here. She's not throwing the water, she's going backwards. The reason she's going backwards is because she shot. She didn't throw that water. That is a jerk reaction to a bullet entering the body. She dropped that.
That's what I thought.
That pot. She never threw that water.
Sale, was there water in the pot at that time?
Yes, you see the floor is dry.
No, in the okay.
Yes, there's water in the
There's
pot.
water still in the pot. The floor's still dry, so we can deduce that there's water in the pot still.
All right.
Go ahead, finish.
So now she shot. I'm going to speed this up just a bit.
Yeah, you guys will see it coming down.
Let me go back a little bit. Oh, this clip is only 31 seconds. So yeah.
Hold on. That clip was 31 seconds.
This clip is only 31.
Hold on,
This
let
is
him,
literally just
guys, let him finish the video. So it goes to your point, Jay Smooth.
And
where
even
the camera doesn't
right
have
here,
sound.
even right here, this red patch right here, that's blood. She shot. She didn't throw that water. That's a jerk reaction to her getting shot. After she gets shot, the pot hits the floor and there's water on the floor. This is only 31 seconds, but yeah, there's water on the floor. So that concludes my presentation. All in all,
Salute.
Can I ask a question?
This is what I want to say.
Now everybody's in pain, especially Beans, I ain't got nothing against Beans, and I can definitely feel his pain. So at this point, we're all tired at this point. We're all tired, we're all frustrated. Inflation going on. Where is it? Where did I put it? Okay. Inflation going on. A whole bunch of this, a whole bunch of that. And the only thing I can say is, this is not popular. This is not a popular thing that I'm going to say, but it needs to be said. At some point, prayer is part of our solution that we need to be going back to. Prayer is very, very strong. We need to be going back to God. At some point, we need to start announcing God. We need to start announcing God by name. The second thing and all the powers and attorneys, we should start voting independently. Not very popular. We should start voting independently. We should start voting as one block. If we start voting as one block, we will get better results. But here's the kicker. Nobody wants to do things. Everything is individual. Which means you're selfish. If you go in there independently, they're not going to listen to you. Independently, they could care less about your situation. They can care less about a black man and a black woman's situation. Even though there are a lot of people, there are a lot of black women who are voting for Kamala Harris and a lot of black men voting for Donald Trump. Do you see the hypocrisy in this? Do you see? It makes no sense. One's going to treat you like crap. The other one's going to treat you like crap. Although everybody keeps saying, and I heard the judge. And he's not a racist because he hangs around. Yes, he hangs around brothers with money. Wow. And treats everybody else like trash. He has issues with blacks who are the lowest of the low of him and Mexicans. He doesn't like Mexicans, and he definitely doesn't like LGBTQ, which I don't condone none of that whatever you call it, the alphabet bandits, whatever. He doesn't allow none of it, neither do I, but case in point, when he said we were going to make America great again, I understood his point. I understood that. Did you know yesterday I was being called the NITC, not NITCH. I was being called the NIGGER word at least I would say a good 3 times. Now I act a donkey sometimes. I act a automatic fool. You know why? Because I don't take YouTube serious. I don't take the people that called me that serious. And this was a black man and a chulo. When was America great? T.I. asked that same question. Was it during the national independence? Was it during the freedom of salvation? I'll call it the freedom of salvation. Back in 1865, when you were free, was it back during that time? Was it back during the constitutional time? Was it back during Ronald Reagan? Was it when was America free? When? And so when you come up on these, and thank you, Lisa, for pointing that out to me. I should have been a little bit more. I should have been more politicky, but I'm not a politicker. I'm just a dude that does YouTube. That's all I am. So, needless to say, they're going to keep doing the stuff that they're doing. And apparently, it's just going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm sure everyone has heard about the Olympics. I'm not going to waste my time with the Olympics. I'm really not. I'm just going to tell you like this. If God was here right now, we will all be dead. That's all I'm going to tell you. If God were to have the trumpets blown from the east to the west, north, south, we're all done. We are all done. And those if you believe in the cataclysmic things, I thought somebody was coming knocking on our door. It's too late. It's too late at night. If you believe in the cataclysmic things, then you believe in the floods and the stuff like that. If you believe that Noah built the ark so he can have two of each animal coming into then that's your belief. I'm not gonna crap on anybody's religion. We-On-Loc. So what do you think of the Trump interview with the black woman journalist? I think it was a bunch of garbage, if you ask me. You knew what you was getting into when you had Donald Trump come up in there. They knew that, and they came unprepared. So I'm not shaking and I'm not stirred about all that. I think the first lady, when she not did anything journalistic, but what she did was attack him, which was very, very dumb. Just challenge him on his policies. That's what really I would have done. But instead, you want to play I'm the victim card. So I clearly have nothing to say on that one because they pretty much blew it. Not all of them, but just the one that was attacking. Oh yes, she did. Oh yes, she did. See, here's the thing, Lisa. When it comes to powerful people like that, and everybody, including black people, including black men, forget black women, black men and white women vote for this guy. So you're basically outnumbered. And so it doesn't matter what he says, no matter what he does, as long as he's looking in their direction with a pot of gold, with a illusion. Let's just call it for what it is, an illusion. An illusion is pot of gold in his hands, and he's sharing it with all these black celebrities and all these black people with, six-figure jobs and shit like that. They are going to vote for him. They're only voting for Kamala. Black women only voting for Kamala Harris because she's a woman. Well, let me take that back. They're voting for Kamala Harris because they're promised something. They are promised something. And I ask everybody on the right and on the left, what are you getting in return? Or what do they want in return? What do Kamala Harris / Donald Trump, what do they want in return? They want your loyalty. They want your pledge. They want your loyalty. They want your pledge. They want your loyalty. They want your pledge. I ain't pledging to nobody who ain't got our best interests at heart. Now, what you talking about? Donald Trump dancing around with what are black? Nah, I didn't quite understand with it. Well, he actually said it first. What are black jobs? And he said black jobs or anything with that has the job. Oh, boy. He knew what he was. He knew what he went. He knew what it was when he went in. Actually, it was supposed to be the both of them. But now she's challenging him to a duel. She is challenging him to a duel, a debate, which should be happening pretty soon, hopefully. because I don't see Donald Trump backing off from a debate. It's just like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump 8 years ago had a debate, didn't work out in her favor. She ended up losing. Simple as that. She ended up losing. Many are voting for Harris because they realize he wants a dictatorship. That too. It's going to be, trust me and believe, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change hardly anything under the Trump administration. Now, when it comes to the Harris administration, things may change. But in this case, in this instant, I'm looking for men to get upset if she wins. I'm looking for so many dudes in these spaces to get so upset if she wins. Now, mind you, I'm not voting for her. I'm not voting for him either. But it will be so apropos to see the look on these dudes' faces, including Anton. I would love to see Anton's face if she wins. It will be so good to see. They asked him about police immunity. He asked about police immunity and avoided the question. He always avoids questions. But they all say the same thing. It's nothing different from when Bill Clinton was asked by black people about the black community. Why are you going to ask a white man about the black community and its troubles and its the troubles that they face every single day? Why would you ask a white man that? He had no answers. They always avoid questions. I'm not shocked. That's because they don't have the answer, Sway. Y'all need to recognize who you going up against. I'm telling you, y'all need to recognize who you going up against. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And what was the other one? Question. And later, he questioned Kamala's blackness. Well, she is not black. She's Indian, of course. How can you be black one day, Jamaican the other day? Or excuse me, how can you be Indian one day, be black, be Jamaican the other day, but now you want to be black today? Because Meg the Stallion was basically shaking a little booty up on stage, and Quavo from the Three Amigos said a speech. Come on now. This is a game. This is a game that everyone plays. Everyone plays these games. You had Amber Rose speak good things about Donald Trump. A stripper. A stripper. A stripper. A stripper. A stripper. And then you have, oh, let's go, brother. You have Hollywood Hulk Hogan represent the what you gonna do, brother. It's a joke. It's a joke. That's why. And by the way, he is 70 years old. You do know that, right? That Trump is 78 years old. Only 2, maybe 3 years older, or excuse me, younger. Oh yeah. He's oh yeah, I'm right. He's about 4 years younger. Do you want somebody like that representing your? No. I want somebody young, somebody vibrant, somebody who speaks truth to power. You're not gonna get it. You're not going to get it. We're not going to get another Barack Obama. I'll tell you that much. We're not going to get a Barack Obama. I'll tell you that much. And I don't really want a Barack Obama. I don't. I do not. Kamala didn't lose. Biden beat Trump. No. You're talking about Hillary. I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about Hillary. They didn't even have a debate yet. Kamala and Trump didn't have that debate yet. They got a couple of more months left. She has a couple of more months left. Men are upset anyway. And they're going to get more upset. It's like, oh my God, this is the end of the earth as we know it, because Kamala Harris is going to lock niggas up for not taking their kids to school. Bill Clinton was all that. Really, Lisa? Now you're just reaching. Bill Clinton was all that. We have these men who run for office that have no moral compass. Correct. One drop of blood makes you black. Unless she pledges her fealty to the African American community, unless she pledges her fealty to being African, she's not black. Sorry. I know you like Kamala. I know you like Kamala Harris. I know you like her. Harris is Indian and Afro-Jamaican. I really don't like these conversations because everybody has a little bit of Irish, a little bit of Turkish, or a little bit of Jamaican, any Cambodian, and all of a sudden they want to be black. But they don't act black. The woman does not act black. Can we get over this little feature that she is an African American? She does not claim as such. Just like AKA Barack Obama, Barry Soweto, AKA Barack Obama, never claimed his blackness. It's in his book. He doesn't like being an African American. He doesn't know anything about being an African American. He only knows about his being an American. You can vote for Carnell. Oh, he has a snow bunny. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I thought that was Lisa. My bad. Is Barack Obama black? Yes or no? According to him, no. If that were so, then why in the hell is he not announcing? He announces more on his mother's side than his father's side because his father's a Kenyan. His father's a Kenyan. And his mom is white. And he is from the islands. He is not from Chicago. Why does everybody keep saying he's from Chicago? Even though he grew up in Chicago, yes. I told you I don't like either candidate. What is acting black? You asked me two specific questions. Oh, I told you I don't like the candidates. What is acting black? First of all, being unapologetic about who you are in the first place. Duh, that's everybody. The Jews have no problem being unapologetically Jewish. The Chinese have no problem being unapologetically Chinese or Vietnamese or whatever the hell. They have no other. They are unapologetic when it comes to that shit. Kamala Harris, nope. You can miss me with Kamala. Didn't I just play you the video? What's up, Miss? What's up? Hear me out. Did not just play you the video about how she was just laughing about locking up niggas? Do we have to go back to that? I mean, do we have to go back to that? Let's get off this one thing about while I look for this. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come over to the channel and become one with We-On-Loc-Nation. In other words, get you a membership for, I think it's $1.99. I think. I still haven't checked it out, but. And oh, I almost forgot before I forget, because Trish was, I think she was supposed to be coming over, but she was doing some experimenting and she ended up getting drunk. But let me go ahead and get these promotions in before I forget.
Get ready for the most glamorous event of the year, the U2B Streets Awards 2025. February 9, 2025 at Laban Midtown, located at 641 West 42nd Street, New York City. Join us at 12 p.m. for the pre-show red carpet extravaganza and a chance to win $500 in our fashion contest. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., enjoy the gold tier experience with speakeasy confessionals, press interviews, and premium cocktails. At 4 p.m., the platinum tier includes performances, a comedic host, an award ceremony, dinner, and gift bags. From 8 p.m., the diamond tier features a VIP after party with a DJ, aerial dance, fire performances, and gift bags. 24 YouTube categories. And many nominees. Can't attend in person? Stream the entire event live on Hush and Move Media via Uscreen for just $9.99. Get your early bird tickets before September 15, 2024. Visit now. Be a sponsor. Be extraordinary. Be there. Be great.
All right, we are back. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this one more again for those who have not seen it. It's kind of ratchet, but here we go. And I turned the sound off because, of course, we can't play music. So you see, and once again, I would smash this lady. But anyway, as again, oh, she did twerk, but that wasn't nothing. That wasn't nothing. Everybody said she was twerking on stage. I didn't see it. Anyway, it's a shit show, y'all. Come on. It's a shit show. It's a freaking shit show. And of course, Quavo comes up there. Let me see. Let me fast forward through this. Quavo comes up there from the three amigos, but now they're two amigos. And then Kamala Harris comes up in there.
Quavo and Megan.
She even fit a mention of the Atlanta native into her speech.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk.
Oh, boy.
Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
Like my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it. Like my friend Quavo would say. It's a joke. It's a joke. Come on, Lisa. You know this is a joke. This is listen. This is worse. This is worse. I'm gonna show you. This is worse. Oh, yeah. Okay, when I'll show you this. Do you want somebody that represents? If you were a Republican, would you want somebody representing you like this? Fair use, fair freaking use. Ugh. Get the hold on. Hold on. Oh, stop.
America back room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're going to bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother. You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans. You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald J. Trump becomes the president of the United States, all the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites. Because all the Trumpites are going to be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is going to get back on track. And like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again. You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised.
That's so funny. Compromised? Real Americans. Yeah, real Americans. Oh, what is a real American? I would like to know.
When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
And you want him as your president? What he's got representing? What did you say about Meg? At least Megan didn't come out in her usual ratchet stripper outfit. Ooh, like that made all the difference in the world. People are still gonna call her ratchet. Would it be better if Nicki Minaj came out there? Come on, this makes no sense. Rapping what it used to be. They're entertaining you at this moment. They're entertaining you every 4 years. Every 4 years, they have to bring someone there to be the catalyst to entertain your asses. And every 4 years, every black man, every black woman gets shot and killed. But that's every day. And we're still in these streets, in these YouTube streets, and not knowing what the hell we're talking about sometimes. We just don't. Now, I would like to get to a point where I was particularly cussed out by one, the only, Chaotic Truth. I wish I would have never, because see, I'm very, sometimes when I get that itch, I need to scratch. Sometimes when I get that itch, I need to scratch. What the hold on, what? Never mind, because I'm not going to even go there. So let me look up Chaotic Truth real quick. Let me look him up real quick. And let's talk. Let's see. I think it was this one. Wasn't it this one? No, it wasn't this one. It was the other one. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Please get the likes up. Please, 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 please. Was it Kamala Harris? No. I think it was this one. Nice. Okay. Now, what would you say, Lisa? People only want to vote on presidential races and forget about the House of the Senate. The Senate, the Congressman, everything in between, of course. But I don't want to get away from this situation. I really don't. Because I feel this needs to be said. And this is the reason why I don't take YouTube serious. Check it out.
Part of the textile industry, you niggas don't understand how to wear. Why do you think your clothes are made, you dumb son of a bitch?
Ooh.
Back yesterday, man. Let me do it again today. How do you think your clothes are made? You got mad at me because I said sharecropping? What the fuck are you talking?
I didn't. You're the one keep talking about it, and I stopped talking about it.
Sharecropping was a.
I heard what you said, but you keep uttering the same thing on your own shit. I didn't say anything. I'm listening to what you're saying.
Can you call your uncle so he can verify this story? He must be an elderly man now, but do you mind calling him?
My uncle on the phone for y'all fucking fools. Are y'all fucking right? You fucking out your fucking mind?
You told us a story about.
What you fucking do YouTube?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Now you always come with this "woe is me" stuff, and so does Afro Nerd. Now
he doesn't want to. I can't even explain it right, Lisa. I can't explain it. I can put it only in this way. I had a great grandmother who died 84 years. She died 10 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago, right? She was 84 at the time. I believe she had cancer. I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is, she was born in the South, and she potentially was picking, as she put it to you. She told me stories damn near up to the very end. And they were not fascinating stories. So there was one time where my my grandmother was with my grandfather. Hey, Chocolate. And apparently they got into some altercation with the police, and one thing led to another, and that whole debacle happened with my grandmother. Now, she is not alive, and nor is my grandfather to tell the story, but I'm not going to bring them up, I'm not going to bring any of my kinfolk up there to verify all this. Nigga, if you don't, I'm going to tone it down because we got a actual guest. Hey, how are you? I'm not going to do that for some winky-dink fool that don't even like his own damn skin color.
I'm asking you to provide.
Yeah, and all you motherfuckers is white, as far as I'm concerned. Except
that your grandmother
from before my mom and dad was.
You are over here trying.
Now, this is the part where things got interesting. Now, let me put myself on camera. Hold on. Let me put myself on camera real quick. Before, like I said before, things are going to get interesting from here on in. Okay? Because I don't take YouTube serious at all. The only time you're going to hear any type of intelligence from me is through this head. It's on my channel, on my station. You want the real, you want the access, you want the facts, you come to me. You come to We-On-Loc-Nation. Because over there are a whole bunch of Indian given Negro peons, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for showing love, baby. Thank you for showing love. If you can, hit that like button. Like, subscribe to the channel, and please do not forget to become a member of the We-On-Loc-Nation channel. Now, let's continue this coonery and buffoonery. Now, Lisa, listen carefully, because this one's for you, and this one is proof that I am just an innocent bystander. I am, until this occurred.
Trying to pretend that your family has gone through something just like Afro Nerd.
Pretend. So they live. Okay, so you know what? I'm lying. They live.
My grandpa was a long way.
With a white picket fence, and they had 2 cars. And my grandfather, along with his great grandfather, worked in the mill industry. Okay, does that better?
No.
Is that better?
Okay, Afro Nerd.
And I almost forgot. They gave my grandmother a ring.
Hey man, shut up! Shut up. We-On-Loc. Afro Nerd, can you give us the name or the event, the date and time of when your ancestors went through all these atrocities? Do you have the name? Because I bet you Gway could call in and tell you about the Civil War in Liberia that happened when she was a kid. Can you do that, Afro?
there's a difference between what happened in war times versus what happened in. Never mind.
Nerd, yes or no, sir?
I can get people who will talk about segregation. Yeah, my father could talk about segregation.
Okay. Well, do me a favor. Call your father and have him call in right now because he watches the show.
But yeah, that's true.
Call your father. Have him call. He doesn't even have to get on camera.
But why would I do? But why?
Call your father and let's hear about all these atrocities that happened during his day and age. I would love to hear it. Because I don't know about African American culture. I would love to hear it. Right?
Because
you a damn lie.
You're doing this as shtick.
I'm doing what?
Right?
What am I doing?
When I said first, I didn't say my family. I said that my success is related to someone suffering and dying. I can say Goodman, Schwerner, and Cheney, right? Who were Schwerner and Goodman were Jewish, but there were people that died for Black people to be where they are now. You, as a second generation African coming in as a Black person, are a beneficiary of all those people that died before you. As I am a beneficiary. When I hear people like Chimamanda Adichie, who is Nigerian, very beautiful Nigerian author. Let me finish my point. Because
every nigger like you tried to ask where are you from, I could give a shit where my mom and dad was from. I could give a shit where my mom and dad was from before my mom and dad was born. I could give a shit about the heritage of what is shown. If I'm born in America, I'm an American Afro nigger nerd. Just like CT, he's an American. People like your ass, Afro nigger nerd, and you, We-On-Nigger-Loc, always try to ask people like this, who the fuck we are from, and yet you can't seem to understand where we.
I love it. I love it. Again, I don't know. But old Chulo basically had it in for me. But none of these, all these motherfuckers except for, of course, Afro Nerd, we were the only ones that had the balls to say enough is enough. We were the only ones that had the balls to say your lineage is your lineage. And if you are so afraid to acknowledge who you are as an individual, then we don't need you. We don't need you. You announce it. If you're an African, then you're an African. Just announce it. I'm unapologetic for who I am. I am going to announce it. If I'm Jamaican, I'm Jamaican. I have Irish blood. I'm only African, but I have Irish blood. I have Irish blood and I have Indian blood. Okay? In my family. I'm trying to see if I had Jamaican blood in me. I'm trying to see. I'm going to have to take the DNA test. I'm going to definitely take the DNA test to see if I have Jamaican blood. Because if I have Jamaican, but I don't tell you, when I'm going to Jamaica, then I'm going to another party all the time. I'm telling you. It is a must. So let's continue.
We come from ourselves as Americans. You try to trace our back lineage as though we.
How am I tracing? I didn't say anything about tracing anybody's lineage. I never said anything like that. He said it. Afro Nerd said it. I didn't say anything like that.
Camera.
Why would I do? But why?
Call your father and let's hear about all these atrocities that happened during his day and age. I would love to hear it. Because I don't know about African American culture. I would love to hear it, right?
No. Because you're doing this as shtick.
I'm doing what? Right? What am I doing?
When I said first, I didn't say my family. I said that my success is related to someone suffering and dying. I can say Goodman, Schwerner, and Cheney, right? Who were Schwerner and Goodman were Jewish, but there were people that died for Black people to be where they are now. You, as a second generation African coming in as a black person, are a beneficiary of all those people that died before you, as I am a beneficiary. When I hear people like Chimamanda Adichie, who is Nigerian, very beautiful Nigerian author.
And by the way, why are they all he and homeboy over here, the black one with the break, had the nerve to say that I'm affiliated with Tariq. I'm not affiliated with no damn FBA. I'm not I never said anything about Tariq Nasheed. Never, ever did I say anything about Tariq Nasheed. I'm not with that cult. I mean, God bless him and what he's trying to do. I mean, I don't agree with everything that he's doing, but God bless him. With Adolfs and what they're doing, God bless them. I don't agree with what they're doing, but let them do them. I don't care. I am a Pan-African. I think one way, one unit, one God. One way, one unit, one God.
Let me finish my point. Because when I get
here's the thing, every nigger like you tried to ask where are you from, I could give a.
He would get ran down. But again, you don't. I laughed at this because I could give a shit what this little boy got to say. This little anorexic boy. Crackhead ass Cheech and Chong. I could give a freak less what this boy got to say. This is the internet. I just literally enjoy the effery. I enjoy the effery as it's being brung to me. I enjoy it.
The shit where my mom and dad was from. I could give a shit where my mom and dad was from before my mom and dad was born. I could give a shit about the heritage of what is shown. If I'm born in America, I'm an American Afro nigger nerd. Just like CT, he's an American. People like your ass, Afro nigger nerd, and you, We-On-Loc, always try to ask people like this who the fuck we are from, and yet you can't seem to understand where we come from ourselves as Americans. You try to trace our back lineage as though we're in America.
Chulo! That's how you really feel, Chulo!
Someone's fucking heritage. We are American, man.
You stink out that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, like you think
really you stink out that motherfucker, and you have immunity, and you have a fucking 3-card Chulo.
Hey, Chaotic, can I complete my point? I want to ask you this, Chaotic.
That can't mask your ignorance, bro.
Shifty's with the $2 is definitely coming your way. Real quick, let me do these.
Good Lord. He said, what ethnicity is Angel? I have no clue. I just call him Chulo because he got his own country. Why the hell you keep sneaking out that motherfucker? You nigger. He's no different from that white girl, please. I don't know and don't care. Do not know and don't care. You're saying you got Kamala-like ancestry? No, I never said that. You know there are different Indian tribes. You do know that, right? There's Indian and then there's India. Of course, it's kind of hard to explain, but this boy here, I mean, and a chaotic truth. I need to keep this coon around me. I need to keep him around me. You know why? Not because he's entertaining, not because he's a coon, not because he literally just likes to put his own foot in his mouth, but he did. Lisa, Did you hear? Hold on, this is important. Did you know that this Negro hoe, did you know that this Negro had the nerve to say Malcolm X's father was white? Jesus Christ. Oh Lord, that is all the Jesus Christ protector, or all those the man that is holy. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Who is Malcolm? Hold on. I just had a brain freeze. Malcolm X's father. Earl Little. Let's go to Earl Little. Earl Little. Let's see. Earl Little. Let's see here. Earl Little. This nigga this mother had the nerve to say that Malcolm X's father, Mr. Earl Little, was white. Do you see any type of white here? His mama black, his daddy black. He does a different type of black. Wait, hold on. Let me see. What was that? What was that question? Another Umar question. What does Dr. Umar say about FBAs versus ADOS? Absolutely, positively nothing. He doesn't represent that. He doesn't support one or the other. He is a Pan-Africanist. Next. Earl. Where is Earl from? What is Earl Little's nationality? Okay, we all know he's from the United States, but where was he born? Let me see. Earl was from the United States, African American. Hold on one second. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Gotta get a little bit more information. Earl Little is a Baptist minister from Reynolds, Georgia. You know, Reynolds, Georgia. Lisa, and his second wife, Louise, born in Grenada, Britain. Oh, Grenada, British West Indies. Grenada, West Indies were long-standing members of the Marcus Garvey's University Negro Improvement Association. May I read that again? Earl Little, a Baptist minister born in Reynolds, Georgia, his second wife, Louise, was born in Grenada, British West Indies. I don't know where that is. Were long-standing members of the Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association. So again, he was a Garveyite, which means he was Pan-African. He wasn't ADOS, and he definitely wasn't FBA. He was Pan-African. Now, Earl Little worked as an organizer for a moment during the 1920s, and at the time served as a president of the Omaha, Nebraska UNIA division. Louise Little served as a division secretary, written reports documenting local NUIA activities and division meetings of the Negro World newspaper. Earl Little also petition, for Garvey's release after 1925 incarceration, because he was incarcerated back then, incarceration on federal mail fraud charges. So he was Pan-African, basically. So how does a Pan-African become white? How does a Pan-African become white? Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy to me. I'm just going through the flow as I go. So what is the Pan-African position on reparations? As far as the reparations is concerned, hope everybody gets it. But here's the thing. We want land. We don't want a paycheck because everybody's going to go through their paychecks like water. We want land, but we don't want paychecks because everybody's going to go through paychecks like water. Like every Negro, every house Negro, and every field Negro, sorry to say, wants a damn paycheck. I don't know why that is. I don't know why it is. It's like you earn something when you earn nothing. You're going to burn through it. Now, if you're the type of person that is being handed the check, say the check, we're owed what, $60 trillion, 600. It's going to, anything that is in the trillions is going to bankrupt the United States. And we all say, so what? Give us what you owe. Give us what you owe. But I don't want money. I want land. Land is more important. Once we get the land, once we establish our own establishments, our own industries, our own networks, and shit like that, if people want to come on our property, guess what? They got to pay. There's where your money goes. That is where your money goes. You're thinking short term, you're not thinking long term. But here's the thing. They're not going to give you reparations because guess what? It's always smoke and mirrors. It's always smoke and mirrors. I would do, if I were Dr. Umar, I would basically do what the Egyptians did. Take back their country. Take back their country. Take back their country. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Chocolate, did you want to come up there? Chocolate, did you want to come up there? And the link is in this. The link is in the chat. I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? It seems a little pointless at this point because we're so divided more than ever before. And I often say to people, I was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be independent? And this is where I was in. And we were talking about this the other night, by the way, about me being polite all the time for this woman. At this stage, I'm fair, but I got a cap. And you see, I got a cap that's this low. And once you reach that cap, I don't give a damn about who you are. man, woman, or dog. You cross me, that's it. You don't get a second chance. Maybe not, depending upon the action. Depending upon the action, depending on what you did. The lady, there are a couple ladies that I ran into that had they were wearing their American flag outfits, and they were looking good. And all of a sudden I said, so I don't mean to bother you, but you're a Trump supporter. Are you Trump supporters? She said, yes. I said, why is that exactly? Because I'm not going to vote for Kamala, and I'm not going to go off what other shit that she said. But basically, I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris because I want my 40 acres and a mule and stuff like that. So people have their own little agenda. So I was like, well, what is Trump going to do? Well, what do you think that Trump wants in return? She said, what do you mean? I said, anybody, I don't care who it is, once they give you a little taste of something, they're going to want something in return. You're going to pledge your loyalty, you're going to pledge your fealty. It's like, they don't own me, they don't own. It's like, well, that's the situation. That you can't do that. You can't just have somebody give something to you and not get anything back for their investment. That's stupid. They lose money out of that. They want your pledge. They want your loyalty. They want your loyalty. Once you leave that, it's done. And this is on the Republican side. I don't know what Kamala Harris wants. I don't know. I don't even know her freaking policies. I don't know her policies. Maybe when they have a debate and she utters her policies to Donald Trump and the rest of the world, maybe, just maybe, I will have enough of this. But I wish it were here in Vegas. I honestly wish the debate was here. But we'll see. We'll see. We will definitely see in due time. We will definitely see in due time, because I bet that Trump's gonna come with the same little wriggle like he did with the three ladies that was on the stage, and they were asking them all types of tough questions. They were asking them the hard questions, and he just blazed through that. He just blazed through the hard questions. He does that all the time. Now, there was a question that I did not answer straight up, which my apologies, right? It was about the immunity. Now, again, if he did not know about Sonia Massey, if he didn't, so you mean to tell me you didn't know a damn thing about the Sonia Massey case? You didn't know about this, you know about this, and even though all that shit is on the news, he wakes up to this shit every morning, and someone's gonna tell him about it. So you mean to tell me? Because you heard what he said, right? Well, it all depends on what you asking, because the lady was asking that I know you know about the lady that got shot for no reason, and she mentioned Sonia's name, and he acted like he didn't know who he was. It's like the lady that with the water, and it's like, I don't like what happened. He doesn't acknowledge that. He doesn't acknowledge anything. He acknowledges good police, number one, and he acknowledges he's going to get immunity for those particular cops, because he said, and quote unquote, they need more cops. He's going to address the situation very, very little. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, she has a history of locking up niggas and niggas. She has a history. I mean, damn. Need I say more? Or should I show you proof? Should I show you proof? The country was American Indian Territory. And it all depends on what Native American, what Indian Territory you're talking about. You gotta be a little bit more specific. The Indian Territory didn't belong to Europeans or people of African descent. That's a lie. Africans were here before the Indians. Africans were here before Indians. So I don't know who told you that, but we were scattered damn near everywhere. The American wasn't the American before. There was the Americans, and there was another word for it, but I got to research it. And there was only 13. There was only 13 colonies. So what we doing? Come on now. That's why when they said that Columbus came here first, that was bullshit. The European country that was end up getting infested by diseases and famine and stuff like that. So it took 9 specific boats to get to a specific land, and they were scattered throughout the Americas. Oh boy. You know we hadn't heard in a long time. I got a little time left. You know we haven't heard in a long time. Oh, Dr. Claude Anderson. I miss Dr. Claude Anderson. I miss Dr. Claude. Ooh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Breaking news. I didn't even see this. Hold on a second. Hold on. Breaking news. What's this? Okay, enough of the music.
Sure, justice and equity in the California legal systems, and she pimped that, trying to get personal advantage. And she was the worst enemy that black folk, particularly black men, could have. So she's a fraud, a fake, and an enemy. And I don't see what Negroes are happy about. But then Negroes get real silly because they feel so down and out, victimized, that they'll seize on any damn thing to try to claim some fame through.
Well, you do have a right to voice your own opinion.
Oh, I know. And the fact, I'm smarter than most people anyway. There are very few people with an IQ like I have, so I'll boast about it. And I'm looking at folk like, you big dummy, what the hell's the matter with you? And I don't care, you got a right to your political opinion. It doesn't keep it from being dumb. But I mean, you know, you are a buffoon. You want to be part of the plantation. Massa rolls you over on your back and scratches your belly and gives you some bacon bits of greenies or whatever the dogs like now. So that's what you get. You get Al Sharptons and you get, the Crying Negro Network, CNN type, and you get Pillsbury Doughboy with chocolate chips like the Rollins and all that kind of stuff. You get the clown shows like Breakfast Club. And your heroes are entertainers rather than people who are doers. So, I mean, it's not surprising.
Well, okay. Here's the situation. We do agree that America does need a change.
Yeah, and it ain't coming from this bitch. She's a sleaze, she's a hoe, and she's been dealing with pushing the stand-up status quo for a year. Do the casting for years. Do the casting couch routine. You can get ahead, or you can not insult your womanhood, and you can do what you need professionally. She was not good doing what she did professionally. She didn't leave a mark on the legal profession. She wasn't particularly good at trial work. She was lazy. She hiked her hemline up instead of dealing with the hard work, staying up late at night. So I guess she was too busy screwing Montel, Willie Brown, and all of the rest of the crew that she was into after being a frat hoe up in Howard. I still hear interesting stories that I won't publish about her activities on the second floor of a certain frat house. So it's interesting. But that is not what we need. See, she acts like she's going to play Cleopatra and get unwrapped from a carpet naked at the feet of a Caesar. But Putin or Xi Jinping are going to laugh at her and say, oh, get off the ground. I don't associate with this. Plus, I could buy your kind.
Sorry about that. I had to go get some water. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Anyway, and you're 60 years old and you never were particularly fine, so be gone. What's this to do with, oh, you're going to come at me like that? Well, be gone. I'm not listening. So that's not going to work well on the world stage. You play the casting couch, you can get up quickly, but you don't get but so far. Because talent and acumen, ability, and hard work are important, not just flat backing.
Well, I guess now
you want to do it for recreation, get your freak on and be my guest. I don't hold it against you, but I do hold it when you do it for business purposes. Like I said, I represented enough pimps and hoes to know what they look like.
Okay.
This
okay.
I need to get him on the show. I need to get him here.
Because, you know, I'm going to speak on some things that I felt as though that she did that I thought was kind of out of pocket. Okay. With his mothers in jail because their children hooky schooling, I think that was wrong because you never know when a parent, when your child is going to hooky school when they get a certain age. You know what I'm saying? When they get a certain age, they do things that the parents sometimes don't even know that the children are doing it. These kids are womanish and too damn grown, mannish and these days. Mothers, somebody.
First of all, y'all need to somebody mute their damn mic.
Somebody has.
Yo, somebody mute your mic. That is crazy.
I don't know. By the way,
mute your mic.
I still hear you in spite of the noise. But by the way, she's not a mother.
Wow, she has no children.
Has no children. She adopted 2 Jewish children.
God dang. When she when she came in, the first thing you heard was all that commotion in the back. Oh, you your damn mic. That is driving me off the wall.
Okay.
The who were grown at the time.
Okay. So I guess
that's why she locked them up. She has no parenthood experience.
Okay. But you did hear about that, right?
Yeah. And also the fact that in the whole of the United States of America, and I was keeping up with this when it was going on actively, because I was out in California for 15 years doing that show. Mm-hmm. What it winds up is she gave the stiffest sentences to young black men for simple possession of marijuana in the entirety of the United States.
The stiffest sentences. Something like marijuana, which wasn't legal at the time, but a little dime bag, what I would think you would get like a slap on the wrist or something the first time around. She was giving people harsh sentences, harsh sentences for that. You know who reminds me. When she did it, she reminded me of Bill Clinton. Bill freaking Clinton.
States of America, and the white ones, she sort of massaged on the back of her hand. And you remember the line Heifer talking about she sat up in our Howard dorm room smoking weed while listening to Tupac, who would have been 8 years old at the time.
Yeah, I do. And that's why a lot of people in Delaware was saying that she was very contradictive and hypocritive.
It's called being alive.
Mm-hmm.
She talked about Biden when she was campaigning against him some years ago, being responsible for her being bused to and from school in elementary school. But we find out when we read her yearbook from her Canadian high school that she was in Canada from kindergarten through 12th grade and never went to school in the United States.
But I want to say that for some reason, now we're going to hear a lot of her. Before we didn't hear anything. I when she was being the vice president for Biden, I didn't hardly hear anything from Kamala Harris. And now,
she didn't have anything to say. They picked her because she couldn't open her mouth without doing damage, so she would be quiet until necessary. And that racist dog Biden would be able to pick up the black vote.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a racist dog. I've been keeping up with his sleazy behind since 1972 when I heard him make one of the most racist speeches I've ever heard in my life outside of the state capitol in Dover, Delaware. I was doing research for a Washington, D.C. think tank at the time.
Okay. Well, that's it. Or Dulcie, are you there now?
Oh, by the way, Biden had introduced him. Yep. Bulbas, who stood in the doorway of Little Rock High School, said, there'll be no Negroes coming in this school as long as I'm governor of Arkansas. He had George Wallace, who just got put in a wheelchair. And he had Stennis from Mississippi. He had, Byrd, who had been former Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. And he had, Stennis, I forget the other one from Mississippi. And he talked about Negro.
If you look up David Duke, a former Klansman, that's who represented Biden. Anybody vote for Biden? Like, it wasn't me. And it doesn't matter about Donald Trump. You know who represents Donald? Who is a representative of Donald Trump's? Richard Spencer. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. Two wings of the same damn fowl. No, thank you.
As roaches to children, and talked about Negroes were animals who turned streets into jungles. And Eastland from Mississippi were going to put Negroes in zoos where they belonged, and black children turned schools into zoos. And he knew how to handle the Negro. He said Negra too. Didn't even say Negro, which was years out of date. Set up on stage looking like a damn fool with a 1958 ducktail hair. This was 1972.
Well, I got one more thing. What do you think Trump means when he says we're going to make America great again?
In other words, return it to a place where people with enterprise, willingness to work hard, to not blame everything and anything for what's wrong, but to conquer and to say, hey, I can do it. That's what he means.
So a lot of people.
I need to look over this before our departure, but I wanted to, let me get this off. I wanted to go ahead and elaborate further through a video of what Kamala Harris is mainly racing going in when it comes to the NAACP. What is it? The NAACP and what she think and when it comes to this reparation talk, when it comes to support of the Black Party, the Black community, and all this other stuff, I wanted you to get a little taste, just a little taste, before we departure. If this woman is capable of running the whole entire world, just listen before you get your vote.
For Biden, absolutely. I actually went on Fox News at 9 a.m. for exclusive one-on-one interview in which I publicly suggested that he step aside for the first time. And I endorsed the vice president. And 2 hours later, the president's gone. So I'm like, for me, it's, wow, my timing could not have been more exquisite. And I had members of Vice President Harris's team thanking me because the headline out of the interview was, skipping over Kamala Harris would be a catastrophic mistake. I was in no uncertain terms. I made it clear that there's no way we're skipping over her. There's no way we would commit that political malpractice. You know, she's the only one who could have inherited the $240 million war chest. And I really don't think there's any universe in which our base, Black Americans, would have allowed party chieftains to just override her. You know, our base is why we defeated Trump. We owe them the respect of listening to them.
And so the political whitewashing, or should I say blackwashing, of Kamala Harris continues apace. Now let's go ahead and deal with the obvious part. This woman here says that Black voters are owed. But as we all know, Kamala Harris has gone on the record saying she's not going to do anything that benefits Black voters. So when this woman says Black voters are owed, what does that actually mean? She says we are owed Kamala Harris as a candidate. That's what she says. Black voters are owed this. This is what Black voters have demanded. Never mind that Black voters refused to support Kamala Harris 4 years ago when she ran her own failed presidential campaign. What we are owed, what we have been demanding, and what we have not been heard on is tangibles. To make Kamala Harris the presidential candidate only benefits the anti-Black racists. All she said was Black American voters are owed the respect of being listened to. So she doesn't say that we're owed something. She says the Democrats owe it to listen to us. We know that they hear us. They've spent decades ignoring us. We said no. Bernie Sanders was Elizabeth Warren said owed for what? And Kamala Harris said she wasn't doing anything that only benefited people. So Democrats have heard us. They've ignored us. Talk to this woman trying to, what the hell is that supposed to appeal to? This woman already knows what we want. The problem is they're not doing what we've told them to do. We're not looking for a shoulder to cry on or for someone to talk to. We're demanding that our interests be catered to and fulfilled through political policies specifically to benefit us. It means absolutely nothing for this lead woman to say Black American voters are owed respect without actually saying what it is that we want. So this is a talking point that's meant for Black people to see it and think, gee, are these people who have ignored us for decades actually thinking about us now? It's all propaganda. It's all trying to manipulate us through repeating lies over and over. The first is the thumbnail that they use for this particular video. It falsely claims Black voters heard. Now, that's the white media trying to con you. They claim Black voters heard. What Black voters were saying to run Kamala Harris for president? Nobody. Black voters are demanding policies for us, not for some self-interested California politician to get a leg up in the political game. This is the Democrats giving a gift to themselves and then falsely claiming they did it for us, that it was all our idea. Why? This is what you people wanted. You people demanded. That's what you people wanted. This is part of the scheme, too. If Kamala fails, then they'll be claiming that Black voters failed the civil rights generation or something. As far as I'm concerned, they can go ahead and blame us all day long. I'll take credit for this. Yes, if and when Kamala Harris's second bid for the presidency crashes and burns, yeah, you're doggone right. You point to us folks online. Black voters being heard? No, we are barking out the orders. It ain't about whether or not you hear us. It's about whether or not you obey us. This woman says that Black Americans wouldn't have allowed party chieftains to override Kamala Harris. Well, Black voters refused to support her when she ran 4 years ago. This is the reason that I posted that video a couple of days ago talking about Van Jones and his phony baloney claim that apparently there are these throngs of Black people, or in his case, he was talking about Black men, who apparently are saying protect this sister when talking about Kamala Harris. That's nothing more than a DNC talking point. That came from the Democratic Party. And it's a talking point that they've been told to spread. That's why they're all out here showing that everybody's got the memo. This is merely paying lip service, and weak lip service at that, to black voters. Trying to do the sister girl routine for a woman who, now that she's officially on the campaign trail, she ain't talking that sister girl stuff. Oh, you got Van Jones and others doing that mess. Yeah, that's what they're told to do. Well, we need you to get out there and say the sister girl thing. Kamala Harris, especially talking to these white voters, she can't do that, don't you see? Now, notice this Lee woman said the black American voters are the party base. One thing that I noticed is she didn't say black women. She said black American voters. Now, Democrats have been banging the hell out of that drum of black women voters for several years now, but they see that their attempts to drive that gender wedge hasn't worked. So now, at least a number of them are finding themselves being forced to have to dial it back a little bit. Not all of them, but it's showing that there are more and more of them who are understanding and accepting the fact that that old gender wedge divide that they've been trying isn't really working, not the way they need it to. What we're witnessing here is a full-blown PR blitz to convince black people that we like Kamala Harris. Well, we don't. But as the white media, they think they can dictate our opinions to us. This is where the constant carpet bombing of propaganda on us is meant to come in. This is a matter of just saying over and over again, hopefully those...
I didn't look at his whole family tree. I just said that his father was black, Pan-African, and his mother was from the islands. All right. And they both worked for Marcus Garvey's Negro Association. So they're Pan-Africanists. I didn't look through the whole family tree.
Mushy-headed Negroes will look and go, oh, you know what? She is a sister after all. That's what the whole goal is. We're going to stand up for this sister. And who exactly is it who's supposed to be this alleged base black support for Kamala Harris? Who is in the black community who's supposed to form this support base? Why, it's the NAACP.
Well, Erica, on Sunday, President Joe Biden, as we know, announced he was dropping out of the presidential race. And that same night, an estimated 90,000 black women from all across the country logged onto their computers to support a new campaign. So on that Zoom call was Portia Prescott, president of the Rocky Mountain NAACP.
If we don't invest in our women of color, then why else would anybody else invest?
Prescott and Harris are both members of the same sorority.
To be perfectly honest, I'm getting sick of that shit. People of color. There's no such thing as people of color. What's the next thing? It's Negroes. We got to support the Negroes.
Prescott and Harris are both members of the same sorority, which is...
Oh, no, I didn't know this. Oh, no, I didn't know this. I didn't know. She's a supporter of the AKAs. She's a sorority of the AKAs. Oh, God. No. No wonder my relatives are mad at me. Oh, fudge. Oh, wow. It's clear now. It is clear to me why my relatives are mad at me because I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm not voting for that heifer. I don't give a damn if she's an AKA. My grandmother's an AKA. Not my grandmother. My aunt. My aunt's AKA. My other aunt's AKA. And my mother-in-law's an AKA. And, oh my God. Oh, my little cousin's an AKA. Oh my. Oh wow. Oh well.
It's also garnering support from people all across the country.
So Kamala Harris opposes reparations, the NAACP opposes reparations, and what a surprise, her sorority sisters that she went to school with, they also oppose reparations. The ties between these bootlicks and these suck-ups and these operatives are absolutely incestuous. There's not even 1 degree of separation between these sellouts. And since I know that a number of these boule wannabe sorority suck-ups happen to infest my pages, let me ask you people a question. If you don't oppose reparations, then why the hell is it that you're doing everything you can to put a woman into the Oval Office who has publicly gone on record before the world in saying that she opposes reparations? The fact that you support Kamala Harris, that shows you oppose reparations because you haven't gotten a promise from her saying that she's going to support it now. Has her stance on the issue changed? Of course not. She hasn't changed at all. So even if these sorority suck-ups want to try to claim, well, we're not opposed to reparations, well, Kamala Harris is. And since she hasn't changed her position on the issue, that means obviously you did. because you're supporting her. And this is who's supporting Kamala Harris. And this is why we don't fool with these civil rights fossils, these dinosaurs from a bygone era. They sold out, and they're trying to pretend to speak for all of us. When you look at the individuals who you see doing this fundraising for Kamala, it's the same handful of Democratic boule wannabe black elite tools, bootlicks, and professional butt kissers who want to reenact the days of slavery. That's their goal. Back to the plantation. This is the danger in allowing social climbers to be presented as speaking for you and me. Understand something. The current narrative that we're seeing about Kamala Harris, that she's apparently just running the boards and she's dominating the polls, and oh my God, there's new energy in the Democratic Party, and this woman's turning through, oh, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. This is the same cock and bull story that we saw when Hillary Clinton ran back in 2018. And by the way, at that time, they were talking about Hillary Clinton as if she had all of this black support. I think we know how that one turned out. This is the exact same playbook from 8 years ago, except this time they have an Asian candidate who's running. And the only actual change in rhetoric is whereas in 2016, the talking point was that it's time for a woman to be president. This time around, they're trying to rerun the Obama playbook. They know the reason they lost the presidency in 2016.
Let's get the likes up. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get these likes up.
Was because black voters stayed home. So the goal now is to give some empty rhetorical pandering to us and claim that black people can't wait to vote for Kamala Harris, and especially black women in specific. And make sure to put some NAACP shill or some woman who's the head of one of these white-funded sock puppet dark money organizations like Black Pack or something, or some other group funded by white dark money, and let these front women stand in front of the cameras acting like they're leading black voters when in reality they're being led by white Democrat donors. Their goal is to put out propaganda masquerading as news, where they avoid and evade black people and make sure the only persons who are on screen are the same Democrat Party aligned shills who depend on the DNC and white dark money donors for every crumb of their daily bread. When you read the white media articles, they never talk to us, the grassroots. They always talk to politically reliable shills, individuals who they already know are hip deep in the Democrats' pocket and who will never say the wrong thing. And what's the wrong thing? Anything that has to do with black empowerment. Pay attention to these people you see.
Problem is, she has a track record of saying, I'm not just going to do anything just for black people. Even though we are the least, or I ain't gonna even get into all that. The fact of the matter is, if she said anything about reparations, I didn't hear it. We didn't hear it. We want at this point, understand and overstand. Understand and overstand this now. Understand and overstand this now. We need to hear a number. We need to hear a number. If you're going to give us a check, give us a number. If you're going to give us a check, give us a number. If you're going to give us land, which I would prefer, then tell us where. There's at least 12% of land left. We would prefer to take all of the land back, but we would take what we can get. It's like I said, you can give us a check, but we're going to burn right through that son of a bitch.
See the white media putting on your screens, or who you see them talking to on these newspaper articles.
Plus, I need to hear her policies. I have not heard her policies.
You'll see they're not some random person off the street. It's always some Democrat-aligned individual. That's the game. Try to get black people excited about voting for nothing. So they're going to keep the hype train on full steam ahead, and they'll claim that Kamala's dominating in the polls, dominating in this or that poll, just like they do with Hillary. All this is propaganda meant to manufacture a phony public impression that Kamala Harris is unstoppable. Trump is afraid of her. Trump voters are scared she can win. Black voters have never been this mobilized ever. So all of these black folks you see online talking about things like reparations, intangibles, and punish the police and making sure that there's an anti-black hate crime law, don't pay attention to that. That doesn't matter. What matters is the excitement, the enthusiasm, because we got these bought and paid for shills over here, these boule bootlicks who are on the payroll, and they're saying that Black community has never been more excited or energized about a candidate ever. And oh, Kamala Harris, she's getting all of this money, which, by the way, is the same money that they raise every 4 years. There's nothing to see here, but they're going to talk about it as if this is men. That if you criticize Kamala Harris, then you aren't protecting Black women because their kids miss school. And she laughed when she talked about that.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my reelection race. And frankly, my staff went bananas prosecuting parents for truancy. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
So I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my reelection race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it.
And by the way, if that phrase spending some political capital sounds familiar to you, it should, because that's the phrase that W used to justify ignoring the American people and just instituting policies that he wanted to institute.
You asked, do I feel free? Let me put it to you this way. I earned capital in the campaign, political capital, and now I intend to spend it.
I've got some political capital, and now I'm going to spend it. That's who Kamala Harris takes her cues from. That's who this career prosecutor was quoting, W.
And I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. And this is what we did. I sent a letter out on my letterhead to every parent in the school district. A friend of mine actually called me and he said, well, my wife got the letter. She freaked out. She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
When she talked about locking Black people up, she cackled like the witch she is. And you don't see any of these NAACP shills or any of the rest of these bootlicks who are saying anything about, hey, we got to find out if Kamala Harris has changed her tune. Because we haven't seen her saying anything different than what she said in the past, and says she's just lied and decides she's going to try to cover it up and say that, I want you to know that I've been open-minded a long time and the community came to me and my record is clear and good. No, it ain't. She runs away from her record. But then again, I would too if I had a record like that. When Matrice Richardson was murdered, I'd like to know where Kamala Harris was then. Oh, we know exactly where she was. She was falsely claiming that I'm going to investigate the killing of Matrice Richardson, and then she dumped the case. That is, until she was ready to run for the U.S. Senate. Then she made a big splash out of announcing she was reopening the Matrice Richardson murder, but no sooner than she was declared the winner of the Senate race, she quietly announced that for the second time in a row, she was closing the case and that the police had nothing to do with it, etc. Kamala Harris cynically
I hope you're hearing this, Lisa.
used the murder of Matrice Richardson as nothing more than a PR tool to promote herself. This is who the white media is trying to dictate to you and me that we ought to get excited for. This is who these NAACP shills and all the rest of these bootlicks and operatives are telling you and me represents our best interest. This woman has said nothing about punishing the police, nothing about punishing prosecutors, nothing about punishing judges, all of whom are complicit in the systemic racism we experience in the injustice system. The goal is to have as many Black people, or at least people with the requisite amount of...
Mind you, Lisa, you told me about this woman. Mind you, there was a woman, a Black woman, who was prosecuting police officers. She ended up getting tattletailed on just because she owned a couple of properties and having offshore accounts. What was that lady's name, Lisa? What was the lady's name? What was the lady's name? Mind you, she was doing what Kamala Harris should have been doing.
Of Melon and get in front of the cameras and talk about her as if she's the second coming, and just to see how many Black folks fall for it. They're throwing stuff against the wall to see if anything sticks. How long until she makes some super cringe video of herself dancing to Sexy Red or something, huh? It's only a matter of time. But then again, the white media is counting on the fact that most people, including black folks, are sheep. They see a parade, they see the white media making a big deal out of someone, they think that there must be something to it. They'll pay attention to it. Some of them might even act on it. Most people are sheep, and you can fool most of them, but only some of the time. That's the.
Well, again, if you want to be fooled by some of these people, then you go right ahead. But before you go to the ballot box, ask yourself one question. Is this individual who I'm going to vote for Melanie? Yep, that will be her. Yes. Where was I at? Okay. Before you go, and thank you, Chocolate, for stopping by. Bless you. Before you go onto the ballot box, I only ask is to, before you do that, look and read on their policies. That's all I ask, because apparently people have a very, very short memory of what happened with this lady when she was basically locking up criminals who were criminals. Locking up criminals who weren't criminals. Remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. So, and on the other side of it, I ask of you, what are his policies? What does he want in return if you are going to vote for him? And by the way, if you have any nieces and nephews, any cousins, or anybody of that sort, or let's just say you're full-blown black, right? And your daughter, who is 23, 24, she wants to date a Mexican, right? From the border. You're going to have a real tough time convincing Donald Trump to not deport his ass back across the border. Because remember, he has a particular problem with black and brown people. But just because he's down with the homies does not mean he's down for you. Watch that shit. This is chess, not checkers. This is business. If we go by Professor Black Truth, just never vote. No. I did not say vote not to vote, period. You vote. You don't have to vote nationally. You don't have to vote for the higher ups. You don't have to. You can vote for your local council. You can vote for your local state. You can vote for a senator. You can vote for a legislator, where he would be Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter. I'm just not voting for either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. But I am voting for people. I'm voting for my mayors. I'm voting for governors. I'm voting for all that. I'm voting for the part. How does it go? The people who own and control the schools in the state. I'm voting for them. I don't vote for them. I mean, you are free to vote for whoever you want to vote for. Just remember this: and it happens every 4 years. Every 4 years, it happens. When you don't get what you asked for, just remember, We-On-Loc-Nation said, don't vote for him, but you're going to do it anyway. So you can't cry to me when you don't have the things that you asked for specifically, that he don't get to you, that he or she don't get to you. It's not my fault. because I told you not to vote for him. He not giving up. His policies, his policies are on the Donald Trump website. It's called Agenda 47. Why is it always an agenda? This guy. Not you, but him. It's always an agenda. I guess he has the same agenda for the Project 2025, huh? Oops. Are we not supposed to talk about that? Are we not supposed to talk about Project 2025? Anyway, I'm about to get out of here, folks. I'm tired and I got shit to do. But thank you for coming and sharing your time with me. I thank Lisa, of course, Amazonian, Chocolate, and everybody else in between. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm out.